Freedom Island. I was sitting with the kids watching TV. I did fall asleep for part of it, but I can kind of feel if they get up and move around. They're little, so you got to keep an eye on them. They can't be running loose in the house. There's different ones around here, and not even my kids. They ought to be watching their own kids, but you know how it is. I can feel them leaning on me. So usually, even if I'm asleep, I can tell one's laying on my leg and one's laying on my shoulder on the other side. And I wake up if they're not pressing on me. So, I do fall asleep sometimes when I'm watching the cartoons. But I woke up yesterday and we were watching Scooby Dooby Doo, Where Are You? The one that looks like a hippie, like a beatnik, and the dog. They went in a boat or a wash tub or something. I think it was a wash tub. They were floating in it like it was a boat, and they went into a cave, and the cave was a skull. Daddy and Mom had a book of old comic strips. Daddy used to cut them out of paper when he was little, and he used to cut them out and then stick them on the inside of this book. There's one called The Phantom, kind of like Batman, but he has like a gray thing over him and a mask. Instead of being like Bruce Wayne and goes in the Bat Cave, he had a skull cave, so you went in the mouth of the skull. That's what this looked like on Scooby Dooby Doo. And they went in the mouth of the skull. They're inside the pirate cave. And then they find a treasure chest. And when they flip up the curved top on it, and roll it back, they're looking for like a pirate gold or some mysterious cargo from a ship. But what comes up, I remember it because it scared the kids. Because it was like kind of like a snake, but it was supposed to be a jack-in-the-box. It was just real tall, real skinny. So one of the kids thought it was a snake, and the other one could see it was like supposed to be a skull, like a pirate skull that came up out of the pirate chest. So they flip up the lid, and then it went boing up in the air, and then it went like ha 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 ha. What's the password? And then we had to turn it off for a minute because it was scaring both kids. One the snake thing and one the skull thing, and then one of them starts crying, the other one starts crying. So I took them in the kitchen and I made them bologna sandwich with Miracle Whip, which is their favorite thing. You get good soft bread if you can get fresh bread from the store. Don't have to get day old, but you don't get the nice soft spongy like bread. That's what they like. And then I put Miracle Whip on there, and then I put bologna. And the boy likes his cooked, but the girl likes hers just raw out of the package, which I always kind of thought wasn't healthy, but then somebody said it was all right, that you could put it in there. If you look in the sandwiches like they have at the deli, like if they have an Italian sandwich, it's got your salami and whatnot. And if you look in there, that's bologna, and it's not cooked. You can see, it's not brown on the edges or curled up or anything. So I said, okay, right. If they're going to do that and they can sell a sandwich like that, it's all right to eat. So I fixed them both a bologna sandwich. They calmed down. But then that night, I started dreaming about that Scooby Dooby Doo, where the skull came up out of the pirate chest and it was saying, what is the password? What is the password? Because that's where I'm at now, trying to figure out what's going on with these people that Uncle Boyce is consorting with on the internet. I got my crochet and macrame YouTube channel made, where I can sneak on, fool around on YouTube and do the different channels and stuff, and everybody thinks it's because I'm doing crochet and macrame. I decided to make it crochet and macrame, not macrame and crochet, because you have to have a name. I guess you could just put your real name, but since I'm trying to hide from people, I don't want to put my real name, So it just sounded better to say crochet lady. Macrame lady just sounds funny, So I decided to make it crochet and macrame, because then that goes better with crochet lady. But then when I put it in the YouTube, to set up the channel, it wouldn't take it. And it was because there was already somebody called Crochet Lady. But then when you get a email, if somebody's got your name, you can put numbers with it. And a lot of times people put what year they're born, So if you're like Susie Smith, and there's already Susie Smith at AOL.com, then you can put Susie Smith 1963. Use it that way, right? So I put Crochet Lady 1987. But then I thought, just like you don't want to put your real name, if I don't want these crazy people to track me down, I don't want them to know how old I am, because that would be a good start. If you put yourself in the internet, you'd be surprised at what you can find out about, like where your house is and how old you are and all that stuff. And if you got a somewhat of a common name or not a real unusual name, you could confuse them. They might not know which one you are if they don't know what year you are. I decided to change it one year, and I made myself younger because, why would you make yourself older if you don't have to? Haha. So I made myself Crochet Lady 1988. And now that's my YouTube channel. And I made some favorites and I made some uploads that's mostly patterns. I took some pictures with the phone and I put it in the video editor, whatever you call that program. You have to put the pictures in your phone on the computer, but I already do that with the Bluetooth. Lauren showed me how to do that because if you are putting documentation for the courts or something like that and you have to have your paper or whatever, that's one of the ways they do it is have you take a picture of it and then put it in there. So I already knew how to do that part. In the video editor, when you push on plus, it takes you where the files are at. You can see where your pictures are, and then you just pick which pictures you want, and then you just take them and drag them. Got this notebook type computer now, so it's got a little touchpad, and you take your finger and you put it on whatever it is you want to move, and then you just pull it. And you got to keep it steady, pull down, and then let go of it in the right place. If you don't do it steady, it pops back up or it puts it somewhere weird. A lot of times, my least favorite thing on the computer is I don't know how to undo it. Like if I do something and I don't like it or it's not in the right place, I used to push exit a long time ago on the old computer, but exit don't work on this. Or not exit, escape. That's what it's called, escape. That doesn't do anything. I get these pictures, these crochet pictures, and I pull them down with my finger and then put them in the slideshow. I thought I had to go get on the internet, get music, figure out how to record that, get it onto there and everything. But I didn't have to because it already has a thing. Like if you want to show somebody your vacation or something like that, if you went to Hawaii, you could get Hawaii music and put it on there and match it up. I found some music that was like happy, kind of like Lawrence Welk type music that everybody likes. And that way I could just put it on. I figure that goes with the macrame and the crochet and all that. Because, I'm really doing this to see what Uncle Boyce is doing with those crazy fake patriot people that's on the computer. But somebody might as well be getting the patterns and they could be macrame and crocheting, There ain't no reason why you can't be doing a good thing for one purpose, but also have something that's, why not, instead of doing something damaging or scary or zombies or something, why don't you put something nice? Like, I don't know. Now I'm getting too confused. But anyways, it seemed like a good thing. So I got some music, I put it on there, and I put some videos. So the next part of what I needed to do was, now that I was a YouTuber, then now I could communicate with other YouTubers. I wanted to see what Uncle Boyce is doing, but I thought instead of going direct and going right directly to him, which why would he be hearing from Crochet Lady? Right, that wouldn't make sense to him. But I thought, I'm going to look and see who he follows. Because you can go, you follow them. Like on Facebook, it's the same. You choose them if you want to. And you can, you don't follow them, I guess you subscribe. But it's the same idea. You choose them. And then when you go on your YouTube, the people that you subscribe will be your top people that you see. So I thought that I'll come in that way. I'll see who does he subscribe to. Then I will get in their pattern and then I'll work my way over, right? So I went down, Boyce has his main things that he puts on where he rants and raves and carries on about immigration and don't defund the police and don't burn the flag. That's all his just stuff he carries on about. But then you go down a layer in his channels he splits them up and there's other ones down there, and those are the ones that's worrying me. It's all this other stuff he talks about. It's stupid. You can turn on the radio on the AM and you just hear people yelling this stuff from one end of it to the other. You just take that dial and just turn it, or you got the internet or whatever, and podcasts or whatever. You could just go across there and just all the people are yelling the same stuff, same stuff, same stuff. So that's not the part that's worrying me. What's worrying me is about boys helping people figure out how to do bad things, really scary bad things where things could get blown up or kill somebody or kill more than one somebody, overthrow the government or something. I'm not, the government's not been a real good friend to me overall. I would not say it has been. But if you don't have a government, then what you got is a bunch of voices being in charge of you. And if there's any way of having a government that could be worse than how the government is now with taxes and the prices and everything, if you wanted something worse, more worse than what we already have, it should be Boyce for president. Believe me, you do not want to live in a world where Boyce is the big man or people like him. And there's a lot of them. There, you'd be surprised at how many of them there really is. So I go down in his sub channel where he's really got the stuff that scares me. And it's 1 inch away from being illegal. I don't even know really how it can be on there, some of the stuff that's there. But they must have some way where they know just exactly what the rule is for what you can put on. And they must be 1 inch safer than what you could get in trouble for with the FBI or whatever, because they're still up there. It hadn't been took down, so I guess they can put it. So I went down and I looked around in that group of people, and I found somebody that's called Ted Edward Jones, which I don't even understand because I am pretty sure Ted is Edward nickname, right? So you got your Edward, and then people call themselves Ted because they don't want to be called Edward. So why is his name both Ted and Edward? But maybe Edward is his last name. But then that's usually a woman, usually has a name where it's her first name and then like her maiden name and then her married name. But the internet, you could just spend your whole day with question marks up over your head of confusion. I just accept it. His name is Ted Edward Jones. He's somebody that Boyce follows, and he has a way to get hold of him because, see, my whole thing is I got to figure out how to get in their communication, but I want to creep in. I don't want to just like knock on the door, hey, are you a terrorist? I want to know all you're doing. That would not be my smartest move. So I want to kind of creep up and act like I'm one of them, but I also want to be able to get back out. I don't know what I'm doing. So if I get in there and I get in myself into something where I really feel like I'm scared they're going to hurt me, they're going to hurt somebody in my family, they're going to, I don't know. I don't want to make it more worse, right? This way I thought, okay, I'm going to try to check and see how I can kind of go in a little bit at a time, find out what I can find out, but then I can pull back, right? So I'm coming in to Ted Edward Jones's channel, and all his videos is about how you don't really have to do the law. All the videos he has seems like is the government's not real. It's the deep state, the police and the FBI, different agencies are all in a secret, he calls it a subcommand. He says that everything's been took over and that there is a subcommand of these entities, these mysterious, I don't even know if he means they're alive like a person or they're like a spirit, or I'm not entirely sure what he even really means by these entities. And sometimes it feels like he's saying it's the Jews. Jews, sometimes I think he's saying it's like demons or spirits. Sometimes he's saying it's people. I'm not sure. He says it like you're going to know what an entity is. And I think, Ted Edward Jones, I do not know what you are talking about, but that's his thing that he does. So I thought, okay, he's a good one. because everybody who believes in this is obviously already half crazy. So he could believe I am a crazy crochet lady that's secretly part of his plan. So I was trying to figure out how to get hold of him. You click on the see more thing and you can see the whole description. I couldn't find anything like a website or a email or but then I noticed that one of the things he had on there was they have a ebook, electronic book that you can read on the computer screen. So I went ahead and got it and I started reading, and the more I looked at it, the more worried I felt because oh, I gotta quit. I gotta shut this up. Here comes Lauren.